story. This is a very short story, but I think it's such a powerful one. Coming into the corporate space, there's a time that I was heavily in corporate. I didn't really know how to move around, and I felt like, okay, I might not be able to get ahead. And there's a book I came across, and I think it genuinely changed my perception around corporate and how I could get ahead and how I should tackle, my bosses. And then I just said to myself, you know what? I need to give the same copy to my daughter, and it was the first book that I ever actually bought for her. And I never thought the stars would align in such a way where I'd actually get to meet the author of this particular book. But man, all the way from the United States. Is it the United States of America?
The United States of America.
Wow.
Yes.
Dr. Frankel, I am just so happy to have you in studio. But I just need to say to people, there's this thing that I do, right? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, allow me to introduce none other than the world-renowned author here in Zimbabwe. Not for the first time. The first time is?
First time in Zimbabwe.
First time in Zimbabwe, Dr. Frankel. But I said it correct, right?
Oh, Samantha, yeah. And you know what? You sounded like Oprah Winfrey.
I'm telling you. She doesn't know. She needs to know about me.
She does. She should. Yeah.
So for those of you who are wondering, I think we need to tell the backstory. So there's a book. The book specifically is about corporate girls, okay? So nice girls don't get the corner office. That's it. The title, nice, bright pink. And I'm like, okay, this is a cool book. I got it, read it, changed my life. But I'd love to know what actually happened for you to write that specific book, because I know you've got a background in psychology and understanding of global leadership for women specifically. But how did we get to this particular book?
Well, the idea came to me as I was sitting with an executive and I was coaching her. Mm-hmm. And she was telling me that she was invited to sit on the executive committee of her company. Mm-hmm. And I went to give her a high five and she stopped me. Oh. And I said, what? And she said, I'm not going to do it. And I said, this better be good. Mm-hmm. And she said, I've been to those meetings, Lois. They're a waste of time. Yeah. And what popped out of my mouth was, honey, you got to quit being a girl.
Right.
And at that moment, I thought of all the mistakes women make because they act like nice little girls instead of adult women. And on the plane home from that client to Los Angeles, I had all of it outlined.
Wow.
I mean, that's how many mistakes women make, that they just kept flowing into me.
Wow. Because I'm just going through some of the contents of the book. I mean, you talk of how you play the game. You speak of how you act, how you think. I would like to believe that it takes a lot for you to kind of sit down and say, as a woman, because it's always tougher for us, right? How do you come up with all those different types of contents?
Content for the book?
Yeah.
Well, the way that it happened for me was that I was, I'm an executive coach. And so that I would be out there coaching women and I would be observing them. And this is where the psychology comes in with the coaching, is that I'd be observing their behavior and I'd be thinking, oh, she's doing this, she's doing this. Right. And so I really had a deep well of mistakes that I've seen women make. Yeah. So that's how it came to me.
All right. So like she mentioned, she not only is a best-selling author, she's also an executive coach, global keynote speaker known for empowering women in leadership and career development. So those books, Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office, Nice Girls Don't Get Rich, she's literally appeared in so many different shows. But in terms of her doctorate in counseling psychology, I think something that we may not have an opportunity to always ask, specifically from a Zimbabwean point of view, because I'm sure you understand Africa, the dynamics of it. What's one tip that you can just throw out there for Zimbabwean women who just want to get ahead in business?
To remember that it's not always just about being smart and well-educated and working hard. Working hard gets you to the table. What gets you ahead are this whole host of other behaviors. It's being emotionally intelligent, not just intellectually intelligent. So women really need to focus on, what else do I have to do besides my job? And that's what's going to get you ahead. And that's hard for people, particularly for women who are used to doing, and working hard and always overachieving. overachievers just get more work. It's, what I talk about in the book. It's, women are miracle workers. Well, miracle workers get canonized. They don't get recognized.
Oh, that's a deep one.
Yeah.
Canonized, not recognized. And that's the truth. And I think we are moms, we are caregivers, we want to get ahead in the office. So it's a lot of roles that we have to play. Eh?
Yes. And we do play multiple roles. And that's why I talk about in the book, the fact is that you need to factor yourself into the equation. You need to see that you are just as important as everybody else that you serve. And I'm not saying you should be more important. I'm just saying you are equally as important as the boss, as your coworkers, as your husband or your significant other, as your children. Factor yourself into the equation.
Factor yourself into the equation. Now, something that I really wanted to ask, which unconscious mistake do you think is most common amongst professional women?
I think it's using too many words.
Verbiage, yes.
Yes, that there's a saying, the more words you use, you soften your message. The fewer words you use, you strengthen your message. So women use more words than are necessary because they are subconsciously trying to soften the message, because they don't want to be called that dreaded B word, right? They don't want to be called that. So what they subconsciously do is they use more words than necessary. And what winds up happening is people tune them out, or people think they don't know what they're talking about, or they're talking in circles. And so, I'm here to do the Vase Connect Women's Conference tomorrow.
Right.
And that's one of the tips that I'll be giving at the conference. How do you communicate effectively, crisply, clearly, and with confidence? And I'll be talking about how to do that.
Wow, I need to get myself a ticket or something so that I can come by.
Oh, we hope you will.
Right? Before we actually get into the event, because I'd love people to know about this. I'm not a gatekeeper. I want people to have good things, and I believe you're good things, right?
Yeah.
So something else that I probably want to ask, and a lot of people probably wondering, how do you suggest women balance maybe being assertive without being labeled, that B word that we were talking about?
Right. The challenge for women is that we need to tell people to learn to tell people to go to hell so that they look forward to the trip.
Ooh.
Right? Men don't have to do that. Men can just, say whatever they have to say, and if people don't like it, they get over it. Women get called names, right? And so it's really about adding certain behaviors to your repertoire. So, for example, if I'm going to say to you, I really don't agree with you. A woman can't just stop right there. A woman has to say
because and then but.
Exactly. But I can say, I really don't agree with you. There are premises that you bring up that I certainly can affirm. But at the end, I think I see things a little bit differently, and here's how. That's different than saying, I really don't agree with you and I think you're wrong.
Right.
Guys can say that. Women can't. So remember what I said a few minutes ago. The more words you use, you soften a message. The fewer words you use, you strengthen a message. So when I use more words, it's intentional.
Right.
It's intentional so that I don't get called the B word.
Wow. I need to come because there's so many nuggets in that.
Please do.
So many. Okay, so let's quickly talk about that. I'm just going to do this one. I'm going to get into trouble. But anyway, where do you know what time the program is going to be?
Oh, yeah. It's going to start at 8 in the morning. And I'm not the only person on the program. There are going to be wonderful speakers talking about money and talking about technology. We're going to have a panel of women. We are going to talk about all kinds of ways women can lead. And one of the things women don't understand is women lead all the time. We just don't call ourselves leaders.
Right.
And so a program like this really helps you build your confidence. So it'll start at 8 in the morning. You can still get tickets online at vaseconnect.com, and that's VASEKONNECT.com. You can still get tickets, and I would love to see people there. And I'd love to see you there, Samantha.
I feel like I can learn so much because, even softening of words, sometimes we're so aggressive with how we talk, and yet there's a better way of doing it. And I think yours is a better way of doing it, being conscious, being intentional,